The night I understood the drum, I knew our king was killing us. In my town, the drum only played for three things: war, fire, or death. That night, there was no war and no fire.
So someone died.
I was 12, sitting on the floor, eating thin soup, when the sound came.
Slow. Heavy.
Not rushed. That meant an important person. My mother stopped chewing. My father closed his eyes. No one spoke. That was how life was under our king. Quiet. Careful. You learned early not to ask why. Our town sat near a wide river. Traders passed through. Fish was plenty when the water was kind. We were not rich, but we lived. The king lived on the hill, in a big house with guards and high walls. He came out on festivals.
He waved.
He smiled. People said he was blessed. I believed them. Everyone did. My father worked at the storehouse where the king kept grain. I helped after school. I counted sacks. I swept floors. I learned numbers faster than most kids. The elders praised me. They said I would work for the king one day. I felt proud. The first change came quietly. The king raised taxes. Not by much. Just one extra basket for home.
For safety, he said.
For the future. People grumbled, but they paid. Then the next season he raised it again. Soon, some homes had nothing left after tax. Kids came to school hungry. Old men sat longer at the river, hoping for fish that did not come. One year, the rain failed. Crops dried on the stalk. People walked miles to find water. We begged the king to open the storehouse. He called a meeting and stood high above us. "My people," he said, "we will share. Trust me." The crowd cheered. I cheered too. My father did not. Weeks passed. Nothing changed. Guards doubled around the storehouse. New locks were added. My father was told to write less, ask less, see less. One evening, I stayed late to help sweep. The sun was low when carts rolled in. 3 of them,
covered with mats.
The guards were relaxed, laughing. That was strange. They were never relaxed. When the mats were lifted, I smelled it. Not grain. Something sharp, bitter, like crushed leaves mixed with rot. "What is that?" I asked.
My father snapped at me.
Hard. He never did that before. "Go home." At home, he ate little. He washed his hands again and again. That night, the drum sounded. An elder had died. People said his heart stopped. The next week, another elder died. Then another. The king announced a feast to honor the elders. He said it would bring unity. Each village sent one man. My uncle went. He hugged me and laughed. "I will eat meat for you," he said. That night, the drum played longer than usual. By morning, my uncle was dead. The king said it was bad food. He blamed the cooks. The cooks disappeared. The king cried in public. People believed him, or pretended to. After that, fear settled into the town like dust.
Heavy.
Everywhere. People stopped talking at night. Children were pulled indoors early. If a guard passed, you looked down. At the storehouse, numbers stopped making sense. Grain went in, but totals went down. I pointed it out once. My father closed the book and said nothing. Later, at home, he told me the truth in a low voice. "The grain is leaving at night," he said. "Sold beyond the river. While we starve." I asked. He nodded. I could not understand it. Why would a king sell food when his people were hungry? Then came another feast. This time for chiefs. Again, bitter sacks arrived before dawn. Again, my father was told to stay silent. I followed the carts that night. I was small. I knew paths through trees. I kept low. The carts did not go to the palace. They went to the old river road. Men waited there. Foreign men. Clean clothes. Heavy coins. The grain was traded. Our food for their gold. I felt sick. On my way home, I saw something worse. One sack had torn. The bitter smell filled the air. A guard kicked it closed and laughed. "Enough to quiet 10 men," he said. That was when I understood the feasts. The king was killing voices. Not by blade. Not by war. by food and poison.
Slow. Clean.
Easy to deny. I told my mother.
She cried.
She told me never to repeat it. Truth gets buried here, she said. But the next feast was announced. This time for young leaders. People who ask questions. People like my father. That night, I could not stay silent. I went to a hunter I trusted. He had lost 2 sons to hunger. I told him everything. The sacks. The books. The poison. He listened without stopping me. When I finished, he said, "We cannot fight the king, but we can show him." At dawn, the hunter blocked the river road with other men. The carts arrived. Guards shouted. Swords were drawn. Then the river guards came. Not the king's men.
The border guards.
They searched the carts. The sacks were opened. People smelled it. The count book was brought. The cross lines were seen. Coins were dug up behind the palace walls. For the first time, the king stood before us without guards.
He tried to speak.
No one listened. He was taken away. Not killed. Locked alone. The storehouse was opened. Grain was shared. Not enough. Too many were already gone. Years later, the drum still sounds sometimes. But now, when it plays, we know why. And I still remember the smell from those sacks. I remember my uncle's laugh. I remember how easy it was for evil to hide behind smiles. That is why I tell this story. Because wicked kings do not always shout. Sometimes they whisper. Sometimes they feed you. And sometimes they wait for you to stop asking questions.